Hey guys, how you doing? Hopefully you're doing okay. Going to give you a very thorough overview of the article here. There's a link in the description. I will let you know that we're pretty light on details. There's not too much to go on. Also, there is a political aspect to this article, which I probably won't be touching on very much. Perhaps I will. Depends. We'll see how we go. But I'm not gonna try to convert this into an overly long political diatribe. If you appreciate the coverage, please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit. But it is an absolute tragedy which has occurred in Germany. The specific town in question is Illerkirchberg. If I pronounce that correctly, perhaps I don't. Illerkirchberg. This happened Monday morning. Two schoolgirls, a 14-year-old schoolgirl and a 13-year-old schoolgirl. Naturally, we're not being told their names. The names are being withheld for their privacy, their security. But a 14-year-old and a 13-year-old schoolgirl were both stabbed on their way to school in the town of Illerkirchberg Monday morning in Germany. Tragically, the 14-year-old has died. The 14-year-old girl, schoolgirl, was stabbed and killed whilst walking to school in the town, the village, Illerkirchberg, southern Germany, Monday morning. A blessing is that the 13-year-old that was also stabbed is in hospital. She is recovering from her injuries. We're told that the 13-year-old girl's injuries are non-life-threatening. We hope, we pray she makes a full recovery, that she doesn't sustain any ongoing damage. And of course, she's going to be heavily traumatized by this incident. So, of course, prayers to the surviving 13-year-old girl. But, of course, prayers and thoughts in particular to the family of the 14-year-old girl that lost her life on her way to school, stabbed and killed in a small town, a town that has a population of around 5,000 people, Illerkirchberg, southern Germany, stabbed and killed on her way to school, minding her own business. Who was she stabbed by? Well, a suspect has been detained. In fact, a suspect has been detained. Two other men have also been detained. Now, we're not told that those other two are suspects, but three men have been detained. What do they have in common? They're all refugees. They're all asylum seekers from the country of Eritrea. Forgive me, I'm not familiar with Eritrea. I can do a quick Google search. It's in the Horn of Africa, Eastern Africa. Eritrea. So what we're told within this article is that police believe that the primary suspect came out of a refugee shelter which is in the village of Illerkirchberg. He came out in the morning and presumably within minutes he stabbed two children, two schoolgirls, 14 and 13. He stabbed them. Psychopath. Forgive my language. I'm gonna start using fruity language. What a fucking disgusting piece of shit. What an absolute scumbag. I'm not gonna get overly political, but this is a refugee. This is an asylum seeker. I've got to say, in my terminology, you may disagree, this is a guest of the host nation, Germany. This is somebody who has been given a lifeline. Again, I don't know too much about Eritrea. It's northeastern Africa, did we just see? Or Eastern Africa. I don't know anything about it, but I presume there's political strife. Germany has saw fit to give this refugee a lifeline. Hey, buddy, you live in a shit country, a shithole, as Donald Trump might have said. You live in a shithole. We'll fucking save you from that life of shit you've got if you stay over there. We'll save you. Come over here. You'll have to stay in a refugee shelter for a while. You'll have to go through this process and that process. But ultimately, the nation of Germany will look after you. Probably in preference over its own citizens. I mean, I don't really know too much about the German treatment of refugees in comparison to the German treatment of its own citizens. And I am slipping into political aspects here. But I've seen stories of, I think, in Sweden, their own citizens, Swedish citizens, have been turfed out of accommodation in order to house refugees. Oh, sorry, family, Swedish family. You can no longer stay in this government paid for accommodation. Why? Well, because there are refugees. We're going to give them your the place that you are living. Enjoy sleeping on the streets for the next several months. Something like that. Something like that. This is an asylum seeker, and he's stabbed 2 innocent schoolgirls. He's killed one of them. The 14-year-old girl was taken to hospital. Tragically, she succumbed to her injuries. Police seemingly found the suspect quite quickly. They found him with a knife that they suspect was used in the attack. The article tells us that 2 other men were also detained. I believe those 2 other men are also refugee seekers, also from Eritrea. So my guess, my speculation, could be wrong. Those 2 other men were perhaps aiding the stabber, the murderer, perhaps aiding him. So the scumbag refugee murderer has been arrested. He's 27 years of age, from Eritrea. That's all we know. In this case, seemingly the police have decided not to disclose the name of the refugee seeker. They've decided not to disclose a picture of the refugee seeker. Why is that? Why is that? Well, part of the reason, I mean, look, I completely lied when I said I'm not going to go overly political. Part of the reason, or in fact the main reason why the name and the picture of the suspect hasn't been released, and indeed perhaps even the pictures of the 2 victims, is because the German authorities, the European authorities, the Western world authorities are scared that citizens of these countries, residents of the town Illerkirchberg, are going to be outraged. They're going to be outraged. They may even protest. They may even riot. Probably not. Probably not. But I don't know. Am I going on too much of a rant? We're going to have a look at this second article here. This second article tells us that the 14-year-old girl had to be revived at the scene after the attack when she was stabbed. So she was revived at the scene, presumably by paramedics. She was then taken to hospital, and despite all medical efforts, tragically, the 14-year-old girl died. But what was the point I was making a little bit earlier? The point that I was making is here. In a statement, police urged the public not to use the incident to stoke suspicion of foreigners or asylum seekers. I'm going to be a little bit facetious here. You may not like what I have to say. I don't know what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say something like, hey, citizens of Illerkirchberg, okay, fine. 2 of your children, 2 innocent parties have been stabbed. 1 of them have been killed. Yes, that happened by a refugee. Yes, you're a small town of 5,000. This situation never has happened before in your town. Crime is a rarity in your town. All of a sudden, you have a refugee shelter and your children are being murdered. But please, citizens, please, residents of Illerkirchberg, don't be angry. Don't be angry. Don't allow yourself to feel ill of asylum seekers just because one of them killed 2 innocent children, and just because a further 2 seemingly are involved in the incident as well. Take it on the chin, residents, citizens of Illerkirchberg. Take it on the chin. Don't get angry. Don't show your anger, least of all, to those that are seeking asylum. We must accept them all as being innocent. They are good people, even though one of them has killed 2 of your children. I don't know. I've gone on a facetious rant there. I don't really know. I've not thought that through very well. But I'm just sick of all of this. You know what I mean? These 2 children were killed by an asylum seeker. Is that relevant? Yes, it fucking is. Do the residents have a right to be angry with asylum seekers as a group? Yes. In my mind, in my opinion, yes. I fucking would be. I am. Okay, it's a small percentage of the asylum seekers that have killed people. But it's way too high. It's a slow percentage, but way too high nonetheless. I personally would feel ill towards asylum seekers of this area. Should I live there? Even though I don't live there, I still feel ill towards them. Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. Why have you come over to Germany and allowed yourselves to kill innocent children? Why the fuck have you allowed that to happen? What is wrong with you people? Yeah, I'm using generalizations. I mean, that's what we do. Humans use generalizations. Are all of the refugees guilty of murder? No. But some of them are. And that taints the whole group in my mind. If it were up to me, if I were the authorities concerned, I would say, hey, you know what, Illerkirchberg, you guys have suffered too much. Fuck this refugee camp. Fuck it. They're gone, mate. They're fucking gone. Send them back to Eritrea. Yeah? Or palm them off on another country. Send them to Ukraine on the front lines. See how well they do there. But I would get them out of Illerkirchberg. The residents of Illerkirchberg have suffered too much. What's actually going to happen? Nothing. The police are going to say, hey guys, don't worry about it. These things happen. You know, let's not be nasty to any asylum seekers. Let's be fully accepting, fully welcoming, even though they kill our children. There's a refusal to face facts. I don't know what the facts are. I don't know what all the answers are, but we've got to be able to ask questions at least. We've got to be able to express our anger at least. We've got to stop turning a blind eye, stop enabling situations of various kinds that enable certain groups to commit heinous crimes. I'm going to wrap things up here at this point. Maybe YouTube will block this video. Let's find out.